Aloha, and welcome back to Yama Studios. My name is Hana Maruyama. I am a scalp micropigmentation practitioner at Yama Studios, which is a paramedical tattoo clinic on Oahu in Honolulu, Hawaii. And today, I'm going to be answering one of the most frequently asked questions about scalp micropigmentation, and that is, what should I do after scalp micropigmentation? The answer to this is twofold. The first part is the aftercare that you need to do immediately following your procedure, and then the aftercare that you need to do long-term in order to maintain or optimize the results that you get from scalp micropigmentation. Now, to go over these, I need to explain first what scalp micropigmentation is, and then how the process goes, so that you have a better understanding of the way this time is organized, so that you have a better understanding of when this aftercare needs to happen. So scalp micropigmentation is essentially a hair follicle replication tattoo. They're very tiny. There's thousands of these little tattoos all over your scalp until you have basically a recreation of stubble or a density treatment in the case that you have more hair or an existing hairline. So after you have scalp micropigmentation, as with a traditional tattoo, there is an amount of aftercare that needs to be followed to get the correct healed result. This is even more true in scalp micropigmentation because it happens in 3 appointments, and each one is dependent on the one before it. So the way this works is the first appointment is foundational. It's the one that does basically the reframing of the hairline or concentrated framing of the area of concern that needs to be filled in a little bit. And then there's going to be a 7-day period of healing time. Now, this is important as well. So scalp micropigmentation actually has no downtime. You can walk right out of the studio and no one will know that you had scalp micropigmentation done, aside from a little bit of redness that goes away within a couple hours. There's no need to take time off work. You don't have to stay away from any events, so it's very low maintenance in this way. However, after you do have it done, for the first 4 days following each treatment, this is going to be true of the first treatment, the second treatment, and the third treatment, you are going to need to be very careful with your scalp for those first 4 days. That is going to mean staying out of any sort of water or steam that is going to contain bacteria, or places like gyms. There's just MRSA at gyms, and that's really one of the only risk factors associated with scalp micropigmentation, is a very low risk of infection if you don't follow these aftercare instructions. So during your 4 initial days of scalp micropigmentation healing following an appointment, you need to stay out of gyms, pools, saunas, lakes, oceans, anywhere where there's going to be a warm environment where bacteria can thrive. And then you also need to not wash your hair for 4 days. This seems like a tall order, but after your final appointment and healing process, you're never going to have to worry about this again. So it's a small upfront investment of time to get a lot of time back from your everyday hair loss routine. So you're going to need to stay out of places where bacteria will be. You're going to need to not wash your hair for 4 days. On the 4th day, you can wash your hair with baby shampoo. It's best to avoid products with cetyl alcohol in them, which is in most shampoos, as it can irritate your scalp and affect the healed result. It's also important during this time just to treat your scalp really gently because you have tiny scabs. These tiny scabs are attached to the pigment underneath your skin, and before your scalp heals completely, they're really delicate and they need to be treated gently. Otherwise, they can fall off prematurely before they're ready and pull the pigment out with them. That would undo all of the hard work that was done in your initial session, and it's going to be hard to recreate that and to get the best result. The last and probably most important point is to stay out of the sun. Now, the sun is going to come back into play when I talk about long-term care, because as I'll say here, tattoo, as a rule, is faded the most by the sun. The sun does the most damage to any type of tattoo, and this is true of paramedical or cosmetic tattoos like scalp micropigmentation, microblading, lip blush tattoo, or eyeliner. This matters. When you're in the sun causes damage, and that damage will slowly reach your scalp micropigmentation even though it's healed under your scalp. Now, this is really important. When you're in these first initial 4 days of healing, it's very important to keep your head out of the sun, either with a hat or with sunscreen, or just staying indoors, and not to sweat overly much. This is all going to help your scalp heal the best. So to go over this one more time, we have stay out of places where bacteria is going to be, do not wash your hair for the first 4 days, stay out of the sun, and do not sweat excessively. These are the 4 most important parts of your short-term aftercare. Now, let's imagine you've gone through each session of your scalp micropigmentation. Appointment 1, 4 days of healing. On the 7th day, you have your second appointment. 4 days of healing time. On the 7th day, you have your third appointment, and then 7 days, and you're completely healed. Now that you're completely healed, you can resume your lifestyle as it was. However, during this time, if you want to keep your scalp micropigmentation as fresh as possible, it's wise to avoid the sun. There is only one carryover point from your short-term aftercare to your long-term aftercare, and that is the sun. The sun damages your skin, the sun damages your scalp, and the sun damages your scalp micropigmentation. So it's very important to be mindful of applying sunscreen and wearing a hat whenever possible. That said, scalp micropigmentation is not intended to run your life. So once you've had it done, the whole goal of it is to reclaim having to constantly worry about your scalp. So while scalp micropigmentation will fade more quickly if you are in the sun a lot, that's okay because it's your scalp micropigmentation and it's very easy to go and get a touch-up. People get them all the time, and most people only get them when they want them. So if your scalp micropigmentation is looking a little faded, just go in and get a quick touch-up. Your scalp micropigmentation is going to last for years. That said, if you want it to last even longer, which would add about a year or 2 to your foundational scalp micropigmentation, you're going to want to stay out of the sun. If you don't mind getting touch-ups a little more frequently than other people, then go for it. You can go out in the sun as much as you want and not worry about it. And the thing is, you can do that anyway because you can always get a touch-up. That service is always available to you, and it's something that's easily done with existing scalp micropigmentation. The appointments are much quicker and much less expensive because the foundational work is already done. The hard part is out of the way, and now it just needs a little bit of a refresher treatment. So really, this is a completely customizable solution, and it really gives you back the freedom to live your life how you want to, because the long-term maintenance comes down to just keeping your scalp healthy and out of the sun. So thanks for watching. I hope that now you feel like you understand what sort of aftercare is required both right after you have scalp micropigmentation and in the future of your scalp micropigmentation. So if you do have questions, comments, or feedback for me, go ahead and drop that in the comments below and I will respond as soon as possible. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to see when I post more videos. And then if you're in Hawaii or on Oahu, please get in contact with me if this is something you've been considering and either you don't feel you fully understand the maintenance that's required for scalp micropigmentation, or you'd like to inquire about if it's the right solution for you. Please feel free to schedule a consult with me. They're free, 15 to 20 minutes, and you can schedule one through Instagram, just shoot me a DM, send me a message on Facebook, or contact me via email on my website, which is also linked below. It's yamastudios.co. Thank you so much for watching, and aloha.